Hello everyone, welcome back to PC Guys Off-Grid Cabin, where the work is never done, but we're doing it just for fun. I want to apologize right off the bat for, we haven't done a video in a while. When I do these videos, I try to take and keep it on a theme that I'm trying to teach you something or show you something or run an idea across with you. And well, to be honest with you, we haven't been really doing anything where I can actually teach you anything. We've just been doing things like burning stumps and a little yard work, and I've been spending a lot of extra time at work too, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. So for today, we're expanding out the water system, and so I got some, they're actually rated at 58 gallons each. Company that my employer does business with a company that imports food, and they import them in these barrels. So I went in there and I started talking to them about it, and well, they made me a deal I couldn't refuse on the barrels. So I've been going down there and getting a few of these barrels here and there, and once I get through this process a little bit more, I'll probably go get some more of them. So here's what we're doing. We're taking and putting bulkhead fittings in each one of these barrels and just hooking it up into the existing system. Now, if you're getting a bunch of wind noise on the video, my apologies. The wind is kind of fierce today, which is one reason we ain't burning any stumps right now. So I'm going to punch a hole in this barrel, and then I'll take it up and show you how to get this bulkhead fitting in here. Wind's getting tough. Dump it up on its ends, we dump all the pieces out of it. Now, if you notice, got a little hole cut in here. There is no way a person can put their arm from the top of this barrel all the way down here. My arms are not that long. Piece of wire works wonders for this. So unless you do like I just did and drop the wire in the barrel, I told you I've told you my viewers a number of times, when I goop up, we don't edit goop ups out, because we're human. We make mistakes, we goof up. So let's try this again. Get the wire in the hole. Or not. Alright, the wire's in the hole now. How about that? We're using brass bulkhead fittings. They're just much more durable than plastic. I have used plastic in the past. The plastic doesn't work that well. They're very easy to strip out. These do cost considerably more. You can find these on Amazon. Now what I do is put a little silicone on each one of these. Helps if you open the damn silicone up, don't it? Just come up here a little closer where folks can actually see what the heck I'm doing here. Just a dab of silicone around it, and then take it on a, put it on a piece of wire and drop it down there. Now if you look, see, now you just have to take and work it in there, in the hole. And just like that, it goes in there. And very carefully pull your wire out. Now, I didn't do it this time, but I have took and accidentally knocked it back out of there and had to start over. These particular bulkhead fittings, they have come with two washers. Put one on the inside, one on the outside. The one thing I've learned about these bulkhead fittings, they're not very forgiving if you over torque them down. So you do not want to torque these things down very much. Otherwise, the washer will start pushing out of it, and the next thing you know, you got a leak. Now what I've done, I've got a close nipple that I'm going to screw in there. And you're probably wondering why it is that I'm actually doing it this way. Why not just up and use a male PVC coupling in here? I've discovered that the male couplings, in situations where there's a lot, you know, the potential to have a little bit of torque to it, they tend to break a lot easier. So what I've been doing is using a close nipple, and then I'll screw a female on there. Except the female fell off on the ground. I know you've heard me say on enough of my videos about not using Teflon tape on gas lines and things of that nature. This is water. I use Teflon tape. So wind might be a little tough, but at least it's keeping things cooled off a little bit. Fitting and actually torque it down a little bit. So now we got that on there. I'm gonna take and have her pause this video, and it'll be just a brief second for you, but about a minute for me to make my way around to the other side where I can get to these pipes. Okay, let's get this pipe cut. Now I would have picked the one spot where the air conditioner is to try to do this. It's extremely important that when you're doing a project like this, dry fit everything. Don't put any glue on anything until you get all your pieces cut and you're ready to take and actually start doing something. Because, well, I'll be frank with you, I make mistakes, cut something a little too long, cut something a little too short, whatever the case may be, and then what happens? You glue it, then you're screwed. So I've been cutting this stuff with a jigsaw. They actually make a cutter designed to do this, and if I was a plumber and I did this day in and day out, yes, I would go buy that tool. I'm not buying it when I do this every once in a blue moon. Got lots of burrs there. That's the only thing about cutting it with something like that. It leaves a lot of burrs on there, and you got to clean them all out. Let's see, where it is. Don't you just hate it when you do a project and it never fails? You lay something down and the next minute you're looking for it, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, where'd I just lay that? More burrs to clean off. So it's pretty much straightforward, just repeating the process at each barrel like what I just did. That's why I'm only going to actually film one, just for the purposes of showing you what we're doing. But you just keep repeating the same process over and over again. May not take and get this last one put on here today just because another one of my little mistakes, I didn't buy enough material. See, all this wood was painted last week and it's good and dry, but I had to add another piece of board, a couple boards there, and what happens? You got to paint them first. Well, there you go. Paint's still wet. So let me finish what I'm doing here, and then once I get all this done, then we'll glue it all together, and then I'll take and show you what I'm doing with venting these things out, because every one of these has got to have a vent on top of it. Alright, it's time to glue some pipe together. It just works out so much better when you take and fit all this stuff together first and foremost before you start trying to do stuff with it. There's a lot of fittings here, so I'm not going to take and video me doing every one of those fittings. That'd take me another 30 minutes. Just make sure you take and push that in there and give it a good twist around there on any PVC pipe. Otherwise, your glue's not going to be evenly distributed in there. Now, one of the things that you probably have noticed is that this is a flex line. When these barrels fill up with water, one of the things that's going to happen is there's going to be some settling of these blocks down here. Water is very heavy, weighs about 8.5 pounds to the gallon. So you put 250 gallons of water on this, it's going to do some sinking. And if you do not have some sort of a flex in there, that PVC pipe will break in a heartbeat. So let me get the rest of these glued together and then we'll move on to the moment of truth. Alright, it's time to make up some air vents. Now, with these things being sealed like this, you got to be able to let these tanks breathe. Air's got to be able to go into it or out of it, otherwise it airlocks and then they're not going to fill up with water. Well, I had to kind of do some improvising to take and come up with something that would work on this. So I've got a 7/8 drill bit, paddle bit. I'm going to punch a hole in each of the lids.
Not if you don't plug
Not
it
if
in.
I don't have any electricity.
You have to, babe, you may not realize this, but you do have to plug that in for it to work.
Guess what? I have a partner that's a smart ass. What in the world would I do? What would we do without women to tell us these things and state the overly obvious?
Y'all would be lost.
Leaving out a step. Now, here, did you just see? She sits there and tells me how to do this stuff, and then when I take and I need her to tell me, "Oh, you forgot something," she don't say a word. Or is it more likely she just didn't know?
I was not here when you did the first one, so no, I didn't know.
Oh, is that what it is? You'll see why I'm doing this in just a second. I'm going to take and actually cut a small portion of that off there. And under normal circumstances, I would never do that. I have here a 1/2 inch insulating plastic bushing. It's actually made for electrical work, but I needed something that was not going to rust and would hold this a bunch of burrs here, don't I? And what I needed something that would not rust out or anything to stick on there and hold that in place. And that plastic bushing was ideal for that. You see, it's good and snug. And we'll just put a pipe cap on there. Now what I'm going to do, if I can reach it, I've got my little countersink tool, but it's got a little small drill bit in it. And what I'm actually going to do is punch a couple of holes in this PVC pipe. Or not. Now, which you could, you know, the viewers don't want to see you shaking the camera because you're laughing at me.
He forgot to plug it in.
And if I keep moving around, the damn chair's going to sink on me, and then I'm going to fall and bust my rear end. Now, hey, if you want to see me fall at least once and bust my rear end, just leave a comment in the description down there. And I'll take fall and bust my rear end. Wait a minute. See, I told you we don't edit out screw-ups. You ain't gonna believe this, but I gotta torque that thing down so it'll stay in there. So pretty much all I did was punched 2 holes in that. And the hole is small enough in diameter, I don't think a mosquito can get through there. Because any 2 ways a mosquito can, it will. But that'll let air in and out of the tank. At least I think it will. Well, we'll find out. Moment of truth. What'd you do with my ring?
I didn't have it.
Oh well, I'll find it in a minute. So now the moment of truth. We're going to take and actually turn the valve on and let some water flow and see if it goes boom or it spews water everywhere, leaks or whatever. Well, why don't you take, bring, what kind of camera operator are you?
I'm not.
Well, they might want to see me turn the water on.
I'll turn the water on. I hear it.
I hear it. I see it. Well, it's going to have to flow for a little bit before it'll take and why didn't you tell me to get that piece of plastic out of the bottom of the tank?
You know what? You were the one doing it, not me.
Oh, no, here a few minutes ago, you were sitting here trying to tell me all how to do it and everything. Then when I need you to tell me something, you don't tell me something. I'm not going to take, never mind, I will tell you what. She was giving me a middle finger off camera.
Well, we got water in the second barrel.
Well, I'm sure you do. But it's going to have to flow for a couple of minutes before the water level reaches up to the level of the bulkhead fittings. And then we see if we've got any serious leaks. But so far, I don't see anything dripping. Now All we need now is good rain. So, while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to tell you what's coming up next. Once we get all these barrels up and everything hooked up and it's all up and running, then the next thing is going to be to extend the gutters out so that we can take full advantage of all of the square footage of our roof area. When we added on to the cabin a while back, it's actually been, what, 2 years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take and run the gutter all the way out to the end. So that's going to be probably the next thing on the agenda. And then after that, we'll start actually putting a shower in and getting a pump hooked up and all that good stuff. So be watching for those videos, because we will shoot video of it, and maybe somewhere along the lines might give you an idea or two on things you can do for your own water system. Well, it's up to the bulkhead fitting now. I don't see water pouring out of any of them. Well, hell, they can't see it either. Why?
Well, I had the peanut down there.
Yeah, I gotta get a net or something and get those that piece of plastic and stuff floating out of there.
What's that, the leaf? It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, because there's only, well, it started off with a little less than 100 gallons in these other two tanks, so it's going to take a little while for that water to just flow by gravity over to these tanks. So, we appreciate you guys watching us, and we still got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of cleanup to do, which you don't really want to stick around and see. Either that, or I'll have to sit here and listen to Carolyn take and make her little smart slide remarks at me, because that's what she does best. We appreciate you watching there, folks, and until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for watching.